What is going on? We are live. So I have tried to go live multiple times and I keep failing every single time. Now, what I mean I keep failing is not to actually press the go live button. It's figuring things out, right? Because this is my first live stream on this channel. I tried yesterday. Some guy clicked actually, I don't know if I put that in the comment. Cool. So there is a link that you can click and call in if you catch this live. You can call in and then you can make it more interactive. Some troll clicked the link and let's just say that didn't go too well. So I had to end that stream immediately and delete the for YouTube channel down because what they put on screen, holy smoke, it's almost like a YouTube mute. Just end your account right there. It's YouTube career ending. Like my YouTube account was going to close before it even became anything. I only have 42 subscribers. I'm never making money off of this. And then this troll came in and dumped it. So that's why I have this rule now where you have to call in with your camera on because at least with your face on there, I can trust to some extent that you're not a troll. And if you're not willing to put a camera on, that is completely fine. You can just listen to it. So, what is it we're talking about today? So, today we're talking about if Toji can beat Sukuna with prep. Now, I want to go all the way to the top dog. I don't want to weaken him. I don't want to go one finger, Sukuna. I don't want to do any of that. I want to go top dog. We're talking Heian era Sukuna. Can Toji with prep time beat Heian era Sukuna? Now, I want you guys to understand one thing. This idea didn't just come to my head. Okay? I was watching one of my goats, manga animes. He's one of the reasons why I started doing this anime channel. I also got inspired by a bunch of other people like Michelangelo, X Kenshin, a bunch of others. But manga animes is one of the main guys. So today we're going to be reviewing, or I guess reacting to one of those videos, and I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on it. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. I'm going to share the screen. Another reason why I stopped, another reason why I failed live stream last time was I didn't know how to get the audio from microphone tab to play to you guys. Yeah. It's been a growing pain, but I think I get a hang of this. So let's see how this goes. So I'm gonna share my screen. All right, so we want to share this guy, this tab. All right, cool. Gotta bring that on stage. Nice. All right, let me turn down the volume of this background music here, so it doesn't turn that down a bit. Okay, cool. So this was the video I saw, and yeah, let's jump into it.
Referred to as the Batman of JJK because with prep time, Toji is often referred to as the Batman of JJK because with prep time, this man.
Actually, let me double check. Did I? Let me do this again. I'm gonna just want to make sure. Okay, cool. It is playing the audio. Perfect. All right, sorry guys. Last time I did this, it wasn't playing the audio. All right, cool. Let me do this again. Start from scratch.
Toji is often referred to as the Batman of JJK because with
First of all, I've never heard anyone say Toji is considered Batman of JJK. I can understand why someone would say that because of what he did to Gojo. And when you talk about prep time, it's canonical that Batman is the king of prep time because of one of his greatest feats, taking down Superman with prep time. So I guess in that sense, because Toji did plan as opposed to going like toe to toe with Gojo, maybe that's how you can say he's the Batman of JJK. But Toji is broke. Okay, that's why he's betting, gambling, and taking odd jobs, and that's why he's the sorcerer killer. Well, besides the fact that he has a inferiority complex because of his heavenly restriction, but yeah, he's besides the planning part. Toji is not the Batman of JJK, in my opinion. But let's get into it.
with prep time, this man can take on damn near anybody. But does that extend to Sukuna? Could Toji, with the proper plan, take out the King of Curses? Absolutely not. No. All right, Chef.
I actually disagree with that, but I've watched this video before, and when he did that, I found that really funny. But I actually disagree with that, but I want to let the video play all the way.
Out to Red and Silver who asked me about this today and just wanted to know that hypothetically, let's say that Toji was in the Heian era and he was contracted to kill Sukuna. What would be his plan? What curse tools would he use? The whole 9 yards, right? And honestly, I just don't think this is possible in any realistic sense, right? Honestly, if we come up with, infinite scenarios, there's gonna be one where Toji just so happens to get like the perfect jump on Sukuna.
Yeah, like the Avengers thing, when Doctor Strange was like, "There's one scenario where we win against Thanos, just the one." Yeah.
And maybe he could kill him, right? But again, realistically, in practice, this isn't happening. Now, yes, Toji was able to get the jump on a Six Eyes Limitless user, which is a very tall order in and of itself, but this is a novice Six Eyes Limitless user, all things considered. A pre awakened one that had been exhausted for 3 days straight, one that
See, so you see, this is the thing. I think this is where I disagree with manga animes, right? I'm gonna let the video play, I promise. But him taking the credit, sorry, him taking that away, like, oh, this is a weekend guy, this is all of that, this is all of that. That was all part of Toji's plan. It's not like Toji just snuck up on him. Toji was the reason he was exhausted, right? Let me go back and actually play this again. Okay.
novice Six Eyes Limitless user, all things considered. A pre awakened one that had been exhausted for
Okay, see, a pre-awakened one that had been exhausted for
3 days straight,
3 days straight. Okay, pause it right there. Why was he exhausted for 3 days straight? It's because Toji made a plan to get him exhausted for 3 days straight. Okay, let's just keep that in mind.
that didn't know RCT yet, right? If we are in the hand era, we are talking about Sukuna in his prime. He's not getting caught off guard like this. Also, most of Toji's curse tools are pretty irrelevant, right? The inverted spear of heaven would be good as like a final kill weapon to the brain, like preventing Sukuna from using RCT. So it would be good in that respect at least. And the soul split katana would also be good considering in the Heian era, Sukuna will not know how to heal his soul with RCT. But both of those things require Toji to get so up close and personal and actually land a lethal blow. Things that have virtually no chance of ever occurring because of how much Sukuna outclasses Toji. Again, this is a prime Sukuna. And we know that a Sukuna who was running on fumes was able to keep up with and even blitz Maki, who is equal to Toji.
So you
So
see, this is one thing as well, right? That really pisses me off. Okay, the whole Toji equal to Maki thing was supposed to make it so that people respect Maki. It was supposed to be a boost to Maki. It was supposed to be like a praise to Maki, a kind of like, yeah, she is that girl. But now Maki has now caused Toji to lose aura. So while the association with Toji elevates Maki and basically gives a hell of a lot more aura, Maki being compared to Toji somehow brings down Toji's aura. Now, let me explain something, okay? Let's say I was a twin, right? I have a twin brother, twin sister, whatever, it doesn't matter. Or actually, no, for this to work, it has to be a twin brother because we have to be equal, right? A twin brother, right? We're identical twins, genetically equal, physically equal, everything. We spend our whole life doing the same workout regimen. We are as strong as one another. He can bench press the same amount of weight I can bench press. All things equal. Now, if we go and fight, do you think that fight ends as a draw? No, it depends because even though we're identically the same, we're two different people, two different personalities. We think differently, right? We process things differently. And because of that, the outcome might be different depending on how me and my twin brother approach that fight. For example, say my twin brother is MMA trained and I am not. It doesn't matter if I'm physically equal to my twin brother, I'll get stumped. Let's say my twin brother is a tactician. Maybe he has military experience. He's planned fights. Like he's very experienced with guerrilla tactics. Okay, again he takes it. Maki being equal to Toji means only one thing and one thing alone. It means that Maki and Toji can do the same physical feats. That's it. For example, if Toji can push a truck, Maki can push that truck as well. If Toji can bench press a house, Maki can bench press a house. But this idea that because Toji is equal to Maki and Sukuna blitzed Maki, that at the same time to Toji is completely false, because the first thing you have to understand is Toji is not going to put himself in a scenario as Maki unless he's absolutely certain. Now, if we go back to the Toji versus Gojo fight, the only reason he lost that fight was because he went against his own principles. It was a bit of hubris, his ego. That's what killed him. Nothing else. Because the reason he's called the sorcerer killer isn't because he goes out there and just blitz sorcerers. He's not like he's going to a sorcerer and just going like toe to toe to the sorcerer. Obviously, if you're one of the Zenins and if you're one of those frauds in the Zenin clan, okay, he will probably not need a plan to beat you because he can just outclass you. But he has shown already from what we've seen that if it's an opponent that's outclassed, he would spend extensive time researching the opponent because he knew about Gojo's six size, he knew about Gojo's limitless, and he made a plan for every single thing. Now the RCT was blindsided because he had no idea he could use reverse curse technique. And the truth is, Gojo could not use reverse curse technique at the time when Toji attacked Gojo, right? The only reason Gojo ascended to that level was simply because he was dying, he was desperate, and I guess he needed to. And that desperation pushed him beyond his limits because prior to that, Gojo was comfortably the strongest and has never been driven to the point where he had to evolve. We see this a lot with JJK characters. Spoiler alert, for people who have not read Modulo, you can see with Dabura, right, when he was fighting against, Big Raga, right? You could see in that moment because for the first time in his life, he couldn't just do a light show and win the fight. He was forced to improve and discover things that he has never done before on the spot. And that was why Gojo in that moment was able to learn RCT. But prior to that, Toji didn't know about the RCT. What I'm trying to say and assume from this is if Toji knew about the RCT, he would have accounted for that as well, and he would have went for the head. That's it. He would have went for the head, would have finished him off, and like actually ended him, right? He did not do that, and that was why he lost. If he actually went in and like maybe just really went for the kill, that would have been the end of Gojo, period. Right? He planned for what he knew, right? Not for what he didn't know. That's just what it is. So this idea, like, oh, equal to Toji, I understand it and it's completely valid. But Toji would never put himself in a situation where Sukuna gets the upper hand if he has prep time. Now, if he jumps in to go 1v1 against a character that's clearly outclassed him and not on his level, he's gonna get killed as we saw with Gojo. So that part I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying just because this guy is on being equal to Maki doesn't mean you gotta like just belittle him like that. I understand Sukuna's don't smack it, and if Toshi does go toe to toe with Sukuna, that will probably be the same fate. But I don't think that happens. All right, let me just finish this video.
So realistically, the only way I see Toji doing this is if he kills Sukuna in his sleep. So his entire plan, all of his prep time is just going to be setting
Respect.
up that exact circumstance however he can. We know that there were festivals back in the day held in Sukuna's honor. Maybe Toji waits for the perfect opportunity where one Sukuna just decides to let loose or something. He drinks a little too much, blacks out. Urume, is
This
off
is so
doing something for whatever
disrespectful.
reason, and Toji can sneak in and just stab him straight in the brain. Otherwise, no chance.
Okay, so one thing I would say is this, right? And this is one of the things that make I think this is one of the things that makes mangakas and just authors in general really impressive. So there was a thing, what's his name? He's dead now. The guy from Marvel, Stan Lee. Yeah, there was a famous thing he said, Stan Lee, because they were trying to do a power scaling thing like a versus fight or whatever, and they asked him a question, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines like, "Whoever wins the fight is down to my writing, it's down to the narrative, it's down to the author," and that is fact. I mean, we saw that with Gojo versus Sukuna, but that's not the point. Let's not digress here, okay? Because that's going to start a whole other argument. I understand that manga animist, and me, myself as well, most people cannot
And we know
think
that a
of a
Sukuna who
way.
was running
Sorry, I just want to, I'm trying to get.
on fumes was able to keep up with Maki, who is equal. The only way I see Toji doing this is if he kills Sukuna in his sleep. So his entire plan, all of his prep time, is just going to be setting up that exact circumstance however he can. We know that there were festivals back in the day held in Sukuna's honor.
I'm trying to get to the part where he said he cannot conceive of it. Like,
Maybe Toji waits for the perfect opportunity where one Sukuna just decides to let loose or something. He drinks a little too much, blacks out. Urume, is off able to keep up with and even blitz Maki, who is equal to Toji. So realistically, the only way I see Toji doing this is if he kills Sukuna in his sleep. So his entire plan, all of his
where
prep
did he
time
say
is
that?
just
I'm
going to
sorry, I'm
be
going to go all the way here.
weapon to the brain
Sorry,
by
we have to watch
convincing
this again
Sukuna
because I need
beneath
to find that exact
RCT.
moment
So
and pause
it would
right
be
there.
good in that respect at least. And the Soul Split Katana would also be good considering in the Heian era, Sukuna will not know how to heal his soul with RCT. But both of those things require Toji to get so up close and personal and actually land a lethal blow. Things that have virtually no chance of ever occurring because of how much Sukuna outclasses Toji. Again, this is a prime Sukuna. And we know that a Sukuna who was running on fumes was able to keep up with and even blitz Maki, who is equal to Toji. So realistically, the only way I see
All
Toji
right, so I
doing
think
this
that
is
was what I was trying to refer to, where it's like there's absolutely no chance. Just because you can't see a chance, that doesn't mean it cannot happen. I have to go do a callback to Naruto, all right? Shikamaru had no chance against Nakatsuki in a 1v1 straight up fight without prep time. That's a fact, okay? Go argue with your mama. He had zero chance. And as a fan watching the series at the time, with everything we've seen about Shikamaru, I don't know how you pronounce it, if it's Shikamaru or Shikamaru, whatever. Everything we've seen about that guy, nothing led me to believe that he stood a chance against Kakuzu and Hidden, right? I know he's super intellectual, super intelligent, whatever, and with the right plan, he could. But in a 1v1 fight, I just couldn't see it happening because I thought the distance, the gap in skill was just that vast. Like, how would he be able to bridge that gap? I know he's smart, but they outclass him. These are the Akatsuki, and Hidden was literally immortal. Okay. Now, at the time, obviously we saw how that played out. But at the time, before the fight happened, there was no way I could have been like, what if he gets his crew and then they find a way to distract them and separate them, and then he plants a bomb somewhere and he buries him alive and do all of that stuff, right? What if he takes into account that he don't be so overconfident in his immortality and Kakuzu backing him up? I didn't think about any of that, right? Even when Toji beat Gojo, show of hands if you saw it happening the way it happened. Show of hands if you thought, okay, he was going to get his paper bag wearing sorcerers, he's going to try and wear him out, put a bounty on Gojo, all of that plan. Show of hands if you figured that out, or you had that in your head, like in your repertoire, like, okay, if Toji were to beat Gojo, this is exactly how it would have to happen for him to win. Odds are, no, you didn't think about that. And this is my whole point. Just because you can't see Toji coming up with a plan to beat Sukuna, that doesn't mean it cannot happen because at the end of the day, it's all about the narrative. And if narrative is there, the author is there and wants to make it in a way that Toji does beat Sukuna, he will. Now, even if we want to move away from plot armor, right, and just think about what we've seen already in the show, because all of this is hypothetical. It's fun. It's not that serious. We're just spitballing here. This is just my opinion. Doesn't mean I am 100% right, but I actually do believe Toshi can beat Sukuna. If you ask me how exactly would that play out, I honestly do not know. For example, the soul splitting katana, the weapon to go past limitless, we didn't know any of that existed until Toji used it. That's my whole point. Now, if you're saying Toji is going to have a prep time and go to Sukuna solo, that's never going to happen. And I think that's what Manga Nimis is missing here is that Toji didn't go solo against Gojo. He didn't. He did kill him like by himself and got a jump on him because that was the entire plan. It was like weaken him when his guard is down, snake him and stab him, knowing very well it would have worked the way he planned it. And that was why he did that. With someone like Sukuna, he's going to have a different plan. He's not going to try and use the same playbook he used for Gojo. He's going to want to study it. And if he's going against Heian era Sukuna, so Sukuna at his prime, all right, we're going to assume that Toji somehow was born in the Heian era with his intellect and his physical capabilities. If he's at that time, he's not going to be recruiting paper bag wearing sorcerers. By the way, just so you know, this is Jujutsu Kaisen. It's Jump Kaisen, right? They did try to jump Sukuna in the past, right? Uh, what's her name? The girl who bends the surface of the sky and everything. She did try to jump Sukuna, and she and her clan or group or whatever that squad is called. It's not coming to my mind right now. They tried, and obviously Sukuna bleeds everybody, kills everybody, which is uh Kamutake. I don't know those two weapons, the lightning one and the other one. Um, they tried to jump him. So why am I bringing that up? Meaning at that time, Sukuna, even though he was feared, he wasn't necessarily popular with the sorcerers of that time. So Toji definitely can recruit those better, like more competent sorcerers to come up with a plan. Again, I don't know what that plan would be, right? The same way I couldn't come up with a Shikamaru versus Hidden thing. This is where a writer would come and like fix it or figure it out. But I don't think with Toji planning, with having those kind of sorcerers at his disposal, that he cannot, that he would have a problem um, taking out Sukuna. Okay, so again, we don't know what kind of costume will be needed for that. For example, in the fights, like when Yuji and the rest of them, if you not read the manga, this is a spoiler alert. But when Yuji and the rest of them were going to fight Sukuna, they did sit down together and they made a plan to fight Sukuna. And when they did that, right, they were able to think about different scenarios. Even when they were trying to rescue Gojo, they were able to think about different scenarios, Angel, all of that stuff. Higuruma with his sword. You know what I mean? They recruited the help of other people. It wasn't like a one. This is Jump Kaisen for a reason. Toji is never going to go and be like, I want to take the King of Curses out. I'm going to devise a plan by myself. I'm not going to recruit the help of any sorcerer of the Heian era. I'm not going to bring anybody that's like way more competent, way stronger than myself. I'm not going to recruit anything. No, if he's going to try and take out Sukuna, he's not doing it 1v1. In a 1v1, there is absolutely, I agree with Manganese. Okay? If that's his approach, if that's how he was thinking about it, like, no, 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 he's not recruiting other sorcerers. The reason I'm thinking that's not what he was referring to was because of what he said earlier, right? So earlier in the video, right, he said,
Okay, and just wanted to know that hypothetically, let's say that Toji was in the Heian era and he was contracted to kill Sukuna. What would be his plan? What curse tools would he use? The whole 9 yards, right? And honestly, I just don't think this is possible in any realistic sense, right? Honestly, if we come up with, infinite scenarios, there's gonna be one where Toji just so happens to get like the perfect jump on Sukuna and maybe he could kill him, right? But again, realistically, in practice, this isn't happening. Now, yes, Toji was able to get the jump on a Six Eyes
right
Limitless
here,
user, which is
this is
a
what I'm trying to
very
say.
tall order in and of itself, but this is a novice Six Eyes Limitless user, all things considered. A pre awakened one that had been exhausted for 3 days straight.
You see what
Look,
he just said? That had been exhausted for 3 days straight. So he's not considering the fact that Toji hired those other sorcerers to try and kill Gojo. He's not considering that part as his plan, right? The plan here he's thinking about is Toji waited for him to get tired and then got a jump on it. If you take into the fact that the exhaustion that Gojo felt after the whole 3 days thing was as a part of Toji's grand plan, then you can understand that in the Heian era, if he was contracted to kill Sukuna, which in this hypothetical scenario would mean that it's the same sorcerers that ganged up on Sukuna that were trying to hire the sorcerer killer. They're not going to be hiring the sorcerer killer because they believe the sorcerer killer is somehow stronger than they are. The reason they're hiring the sorcerer killer is because they know the sorcerer killer is good at killing sorcerers, right? That's his whole thing. He will be able to think up of a plan. He will be able to work with them. They will be able to talk together, be able to understand their abilities, their cursed energy, and everything, and devise a plan, right? Because one thing with Toji is even though he doesn't have cursed energy, he can use cursed energy like other sorcerers, and he's not a traditional Jujutsu sorcerer. He does have a very good understanding of cursed energy. right? Because if you remember, there was a time when Toji was fighting Geto, and Geto called this girl, and he was in this weird domain. He got his ear sliced off. I remember he was able to understand exactly the situation he was in, like that, right? He is he is Megumi's dad, right? Megumi got his fighting prowess from him. As much as Megumi is being slandered for being potential man, when you actually think about his fight with Kirara, right? His fight with the inverse guy, and all the things that Megumi has done in the series. I'm talking pure intellect, not in terms of pure ability. In terms of pure intellect, the way he thinks, the way he plans, even mid fight, that's Toji's intellect, right? Because this is something that doesn't get spoken about a lot. Toji is genius level IQ. So is Megumi. I know people are going to come at me because it is fashionable now and it's trendy to hate on what's his name? To hate on Megumi. But Megumi got that from his father, right? When you saw an instance of Toji actually taking time to plan, you've seen Megumi fight Kirara. That technique was so complicated, and Megumi was able to figure out a way around it in the heat of the moment. And to be honest with you, right? And this is something that's, again, I'm going to get pushback for this, but if Megumi wasn't broken by Sukuna and everything in the manga, and his body wasn't like taken by Sukuna, and Megumi was able to fight back, or maybe say Megumi was, let's just, if Sukuna never needed Megumi's body to defeat Gojo, Megumi probably would have devised a much better plan to take out Sukuna. I actually truly believe this because Megumi is that smart, and so is Toji. I understand, all right? Toji is not as strong as Sukuna, but the caveat here, the one thing that we're putting into consideration is that he gets prep time. There's no limit on this prep time. Okay, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years, it could be 4 years. Someone that smart with enough prep time and enough sorcerers of the hand era at his disposal, he definitely can take out Sukuna. Okay, I'm not saying it will be easy, but he definitely can take out Sukuna. If Yuji and them man there are able to take out Sukuna in the manga by planning, I don't even think their plan was, I would think it was super extensive, but they did plan. The plan didn't go well. They had to improvise. There was a backup plan to the backup plan to the backup plan because Sukuna kept remembering techniques from the Heian era that he forgot or remembered suddenly. I don't know. This guy just kept remembering everything. Okay, he gets back into a corner. Oh, the technique I haven't used since the Heian era. He gets back into a corner. Oh, the technique I haven't used since the Heian era. This was like, if you watch football, it was like Lionel Messi in the World Cup. Penalty to Argentina, technique from here and there I've never used. So they had to go back up of the backup, the backup, and they kept improvising and everything. But they did have a plan, and that plan led to the eventual death of Sukuna, right? And that's my whole point. Granted, a lot of sorcerers fell, and again, a lot of sorcerers will fall. But the point is, will Toji come out on top? Absolutely. I don't think Yuji, right? Yes, Yuji got the whole, like, usually got some buffs, right? He's the main character, plot armor, yada yada yada. But I don't think Yuji is, as a solo character, is stronger than most of the sorcerers in the Heian era. I don't believe that. So my whole argument here, my whole point is, I truly believe in my heart of heart, if Toji has access to all of those sorcerers and actually has the time to prep to kill Sukuna, he will kill Sukuna. He will put Sukuna on a t-shirt. I truly believe that. Again, I just want to make this absolutely clear. I am not saying that Toji is stronger than Sukuna. That is ridiculous. Okay? He's not on the same level. Sukuna will destroy and Toji in a 1v1 fight. If Toji ever steps to him, that fight would be short. Okay, that would be the shortest story ever told. It would end like that. But the question here and the caveat here is, can Toji beat Sukuna with prep time? And I would like to say, I think so. The reason I'm saying I think so is because you cannot. I'm not an authority on the issue. I am not Akutami. Okay, if I was Akutami, I'll tell you guys yes, because it's my story and I'm the narrator and I can write however I want to write. This is all speculation based on how we see it. So manga animes, again, this is not me taking a shot at manga animes or anything. He's the goal. I'm subscribed. I like him. He's one of my guys. Like I'm subscribed to him on my other channel. He's one of my guys. Like I watch his stuff a lot, right? Actually, let me subscribe to him on this channel because I noticed I'm not subscribed to him on this channel, which is weird. But I'm subscribed to him on my like I have another account. So this is my streaming like account, agnostic reviews, and I have an account that I use to watch stuff. I think everyone does that just because you kind of want to create that distinction because sometimes you don't want to comment as yourself, right? But yeah, not like no any shot at this guy. He knows way more about anime, about power scaling. Actually, he's not really that big on power scaling, but I would say he still knows more about power scaling than I do. And this isn't a way of like taking a shot at this overall knowledge of anime or anything like that. And so if there are any manga anime fans that happen to come across this video, I am not trying to take a shot at him. He stated an opinion that I disagree with, and that's just what it is. Because I truly believe like Toji is built different. The whole Toji is equal to Maki thing, it's not the same thing. Toji's intellect is next level. Toji is Megumi level smart, right? I believe Megumi inherited his smart from Toji. So if this fight or if this actually does happen, yes, I think Toji can. Will he? I don't know, but I definitely think he can. I think he can. I don't know if he will, but he can. Like he's capable of it. Not to the point where it's like, oh, it's like a 1 in a million chance he can do it. No, he can. If he goes in solo like Batman and Superman, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna find a tool and then I'm gonna try and sneak him or anything like that, solo, that ain't happening. Okay, Sukuna has Sukuna is gonna find a way, right? I'm saying with the help of other sorcerers, because again, that's exactly how he took down Gojo. He recruited the help of other sorcerers. Anyways, no one did call in today, because I was trying to do a calling show, so we're calling and maybe give their own takes and everything. But it's bound to happen. It's my first stream. I'm not really when your first streams, you don't really stream to a lot of people, right? But in the future, hopefully people call in and they can actually, and it's not just me talking to myself and in this echo chamber. I would like to have my opinions and thoughts challenged and see what other people think about it. But for right now, this is where I'm going to leave this. There are a few things I actually do want to check before I end the stream. I thought it was pretty funny. So I saw this clip here. Wait, I don't know if I'm about to do that. I actually don't know. Hopefully this doesn't get flagged. But yeah, I'm gonna share this. Uh, I have to remove this, and I don't know if this is gonna get flagged. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to work out. I'm still trying to work out how these two works. I just kind of kicked myself out of the studio. What a fail. But yeah, I'm gonna share. I wanted to share my screen. Share screen, entire screen. I'm gonna go with this guy here. Okay, entire screen one. All right. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's go. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Uh, hopefully this doesn't end it again. Whatever. I'm just gonna do this. I didn't put the audio on for this, but I don't think the audio matters as much, right? I just want. Let me see. I'm gonna make this bigger. Okay. So I came across this and I thought this was hilarious. I don't know if you guys watch. I don't know if you guys watch. What you call it? Invincible. But I saw this video. I thought it was hilarious. Yo, listen, right? The one thing I like the Nolans for is their willingness to stand on business. Okay, they always stand on business. They never duck or fade. Okay, they would always run the ones with you. Um, but they said, is it insanity? I think insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, something along those lines. Oliver, brother, okay, at this point, you know, I understand that you're brave. I understand you got guts. I understand that you're not a chicken, but your track record against all the Viltrumites stinks. There's never been a time where you've beaten any Viltrumite. You've never beaten anyone in the Viltrumite outfit. Okay? You can beat people who are significantly weaker than you. Why do you keep charging in? By the way, Conquest. Also, I don't understand. Like the audacity of Oliver sometimes. Conquest almost tore you, ripped you apart. Conquest literally sent your big brother to the hospital. He hospitalized Mark, and you still thought I would charge in to beat this guy. I want this level of confidence in my life. I want to be like Oliver. That level of confidence to me, I need to understand it because how do you always keep charging in knowing fully well you are going to get packed up? That makes no sense to me. And then I think for me the worst one is Thrag, okay, the Crown Regent, right? You know this guy is the de facto emperor of the Viltrumites. He's the boss of bosses. He's the king. Okay, you see this guy bitch slap your brother. Like, okay, maybe that wasn't sequential. Maybe that didn't happen before he rushed, but you at least saw him. He saw him punch your father from orbit into a different planet. Okay, this guy then punched your father again right out of the planet. His Trax punch was enough to make Nolan break the escape velocity of Viltron. You took all of this information, right? You fought the other Viltrumites in space. You didn't win a single one. And you thought, you know what? I'm going to go after the big boss. Like, you get points for heart. Like, the boy's got heart. You cannot tell me this boy doesn't have heart. But at some point, you got to understand, you have to learn how to duck of it. You see, he clearly needs Toji's level IQ. If he had Toji level IQ, maybe he would know better than to charge him like that. Yeah, if he had planned, maybe would maybe try to get track injected. I don't know if an injection will go through track skin, how you get a jump on it, but get him injected with that thing that was making the other Vitramites vulnerable, then sure. But you, brother, just charging in like that with a punch against a freaking flying disaster, natural disaster, like Trag is not the guy you should be charging in with a punch. But yeah, I give him points for heart, but he's not very smart up there. Last video on the look at, this is hilarious. This video cracked me the fuck up. Let's see. Can just want to stop sharing. Okay. All right. So that worked. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I get it now. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because every time I'll try to share, it would take me out of the studio. It was weird. I didn't understand it. All right. So share screen. It happened again. I don't get this. I'm using StreamYard. It's kind of weird. Like I'm trying to switch from every time I try to switch from like every time I try to share something new, it ends the stream. I don't quite like not necessarily end the stream, but it kicks me out of the studio. Like I don't quite understand that. I wonder if this will work now. Okay, I did. Okay. Oof, this is crazy. All right, cool. Fish. All right, let's go. So I did see this. I'm gonna actually make this like full screen. Okay, so I did see this. Actually, like I did see this, right? So I don't know if you guys remember from season one when when Omni Man fought like I won't say fought, literally just beat up Mark because that was not a fight. That was a one-sided massacre, right? But yeah, then somebody made this into a short. With the,
Why did you make me do this? You're fighting so you can watch me endlessly rescue Peach. Think, Bowser. We'll outlast every fragile, insignificant franchise on this planet. You'll see Fortnite, Minecraft, even Sonic crumble to dust and blow away. Everyone and everything you know will be gone. What will you have after 500 consoles? You, Mario. Now still have you.
oh my god! See, this is the kind of brain rot. This is the kind of brain rot I can get behind. Okay, that killed me. I just wanted to share that. Anyways, guys, uh, no one jumped on the call. That is fine. This is normal for streaming when you're at the start, at the beginning. But if you're watching this back, I really want to say thank you for watching, especially if you watch this far, because I think this stream is like what 41 minutes. That's a long stream. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I'll be doing more of these streams, and maybe one of these days I'm going to get a call in. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Well, it's nobody here, but I'm talking to you guys in the future. I'll catch you guys next time.